Hello and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards because Commander's number one. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel. I am joined today with both Slothy and Brian. Slothy, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. We had a late night, kind of good time visiting and everything. Brian actually swung in and grabbed me some cards as well on the way, which was very nice of him. That's I was gonna say, and Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, yesterday. Brian, can you do me a favor? All right, Daniel, what's that? Can you run down and get me some cards? I was like, you have to drive by the place to come north.
Yeah. I was like, hey, can you just stop and pick me up this list of cards? And he's like, yeah, no problem. It came out and it was just for anyone looking on YouTube, it was a full deck list of cards. It was a few.
I walked into Ogre's Den. I was like, where's Daniel's dumb stack of cards?
Yeah, and how are you doing, Brian?
Oh, I'm doing good. We had a fun night last night, and then I got a dreaded work today, but we're here. We're talking Magic.
That's
I'm in
true.
my safe space.
It is true. Slothy, this is one of your decks. You can take us right into it and what we're doing today.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we're talking about Radagast The Brown. But before I actually read the card, I love this kind of deck where it gives you bonuses for playing cards that are not the same type.
Anti-typal?
Anti-typal, yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Volo with that. But Radagast The Brown is 2 double green for a 2/5 legendary avatar wizard. Whenever Radagast The Brown or another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is that creature's mana value. You may reveal a creature card that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control from among them and put it into your hand, and put the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super fun commander and very fun strategy.
An Atla-esque ability, but it puts into hands and into play.
Yeah.
I do love the artwork, all the different animals that are gathered up around him.
That's what I was going to say too. It's just that as soon as I saw this artwork, I was like, all right, this is a pretty silly looking card.
He's so chill. And
it looks just really fun to build overall. You've got a 2/5 body on a 4/4 on a 4 mana, which is it's a solid blocker. That can come out really early. And it's going to just generate you value for doing what you're trying to do in the deck.
Yeah, exactly.
This is my kind of deck list, by the way. 36 creatures. Let's go.
And looking deep, you can get really deep with it. You cast a 6, you're basically looking 6 deep for another creature. That's really that's really good digging.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if you're dropping multiple creatures.
Yeah. For the rest in the bottom in random order, yeah. It looks like just a super fun commander to build around. Do you want to start right into your artifacts?
Yeah, absolutely. First artifact we've got here is Arcane Signet. 2 mana, taps for 1 mana of any color in the commander's color identity.
Yep, I like it. You have a monster manual, one that I don't even know. 3 and a green. It is an artifact. It has an adventure on the side. We'll do the monster manual first. So the monster manual side is 1 and a green, tap. You may put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield. That's very, very good. That's really, really good. You can Quicksilver Amulet creatures in.
Yeah, especially because a lot of the creatures in this you want to have such a high mana value. Being able to just put them into play for 2 is awesome.
Well, yeah, you can dump Ulamog in with that.
Yeah.
You'll miss the... Oh, and Radagast is relooking at it. It's an enter trigger. It's not a cast.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
That's what I just wanted to go and check.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. So any way that you can just dump this into play is going to be really cool. And then you've got the adventure side of it, Zoological Study, 2 and a green. You mill 5 cards, then return a creature milled this way to your hand. So again, just another way to search.
Yeah.
I love the monsters that they do have on it. They have the Beholder and the
Tarrasque.
Yeah, the Tarrasque.
Yeah.
The next one I do actually end up using in some decks, the Ronus' Monument, 3 colorless, legendary artifact. Green creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And whenever you cast a creature spell, target creature gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn.
Yeah.
Gross.
I like the reduction, yeah.
Then we've got... I could take the next 2. We've got our Soul Ring, 1 mana, taps for 2. And a card that I'm putting in nearly every deck now, Strixhaven Stadium. 3 mana, you can tap it for colorless and put a point counter on it. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter from Strixhaven Stadium. And whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Then if it has 10 or more point counters on it, remove them all, and that player loses the game.
Rereading this one, that means that if I hit you with 10 tokens, you can just die.
Yes.
That's... it's a very underplayed card, to be honest. Strixhaven was... every time we bring anything Strixhaven related up, I have to talk about it's... I'm obligated. It's contractual at this point to say how much I liked Strixhaven. It's my favorite set for a long time. It was so good. And
it really was. Now.
Yeah, right. And you don't see, but this is just a solid rock. Like, it's going to give you colorless, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's just an extra win condition. And in any creature heavy deck, there's not really a reason to not play it. Like we've all seen games where somebody has 400 life. You're not going to get through them with your Saproline token deck when they're sitting there life gaining. And this way, you're just like, I hit you with 10 of them, you die.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it a lot. You also have a great engine here, another really good cost-effective card. 7 double green for a legendary artifact. It costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. In a creature-heavy deck with big creatures, that's going to be good. You're getting a tap, add double green, you gain 2 life, and then just one of the silliest enter the battlefields that's like stapled. A non-token enters, you put a 1/1 counter on it, you draw a card. So it's ramp, life gain, draw, counters. It's everything you want in a rock, and it can come down in a deck like this. I haven't looked through your creature section at all yet, but I'm assuming it can pretty easily come down as a 2-drop.
Yeah, absolutely it can.
Yeah, right?
From what I saw, yeah. The next card we have is Vidalcan Orrery for colorless. You may cast spells as though they had flash. This is very nice to put down big bodies on other people's turns.
Yeah, I think it's really funny to have someone swing out at you and just surprise them with a 12/12.
Yeah. Flash is always nice to include. It's Brian doesn't know how to play with Flash, but
I'm getting better.
Brian plays on his turn like it was intended. Unless it's interaction, then Brian plays on everyone else's turn.
It is.
Yeah. Just pretend all your cards
that way.
Yeah, I was going to say pretend all of your cards are heroic intervention and you're fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, that new card that came out, I played it like heroic intervention.
The Bombadil song, you said, yeah.
Yeah, such a feel bad moment. I was like, I'm an idiot.
You're like, that's not what this is.
I can dream, right?
Do you want to end with your creatures, Slothy?
I would like to end with my creatures, yeah.
Perfect. All right, let's hit enchantments.
Sure. The first enchantment we've got here is Beastmaster Ascension, 2 and a green. Whenever a creature you control attacks, you may put a quest counter on Beastmaster Ascension. And as long as Beastmaster Ascension has 7 or more quest counters on it, creatures you control get +5/+5.
Yeah.
I see what you did there, Dan.
Again, pretty good to go wide with stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
I like Beastmaster's Ascension, and the fact that, again, that it's come down to like a $5 range again is great.
Yeah, it's really nice to see.
It's gotten reprinted in a lot of the green precons now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen this card, Colossal Majesty, 2 and a green, at the beginning of your upkeep. If you control a creature card with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Is this a Jumpstart set?
This was
it has another
originally.
Zendikar, I think, wasn't it?
Zendikar? Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Let's see. M19.
M19, interesting.
And the Commander 2019 decks.
Yeah, it was in a lot. It's another one that keeps kind of going up. It just got a little bit of a reprint, but you can't ever find it. It's a $1 card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never seen this card before.
You have Elven Chorus, which is another just really cool card from the year. 3 and a green. I
want to cut you off there. Sorry, I have to. The flavor text of this card.
I know, funny. Brian. I looked at it. I know. Wow,
it's even bigger than I thought. Awesome.
I saw it, Brian. In my heart, I was like, "Yep."
Yeah.
It's interesting flavor text. I'll give you that.
But please continue.
Okay, yes. So we have Elven Chorus, 3 and a green. It's an enchantment. You can look at the top card of your library at any time. Great to have the top deck knowledge, especially when you're able to get through things, right? Like you can see that there's something up top. Get that trigger. One moment here. Sorry. I am just not doing great over here, apparently.
You needed that monster from yesterday?
Yeah, right. Exactly. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Also great in a creature-heavy deck. And creatures you control have tapped to add 1 mana of any color. There's no bad parts about this card, especially when you're creature-heavy, when you're token-heavy. This is good because it's not even non-token creatures that get that tap for 1 color. It's just really good.
Mm-hmm. My Llanowar elves can now tap for any color. My Llanowar elves are a bird.
Llanowar of Paradise?
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, exactly. Squee of Paradise? Interesting card for the next one.
Yeah. Speaking of squee, we've got Food Chain. 2 and a green, exile a creature you control, add X mana of any one color, where X is 1 plus the exiled creature's mana value. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells. There's some shenanigans with this that are in the creature section.
I love Food Chain.
Yeah, it's such a good card. I'm so happy that it got a reprint.
It really, really desperately needed one. And it needed upgraded art. The Judge Foil, beautiful. This new version, also pretty cool. The old one, very
I kind of have a soft spot for the old one.
That's fair.
But the new one is just really, really nice.
Doesn't the old one just look like a dirt pile?
It was dung. The food chain, you know, the cycle of life. Something gets eaten, it gets It was an odd one.
Yeah.
The next one here we have is Sylvan Anthem, 2 green. Green creatures you control get +1/+1, and whenever a green creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1.
Again, doing what you want. You're looking before you look.
Yeah.
So they like a caterpillar on a branch. I probably have a different art than you guys.
It might be. I don't know. I have the sketch art. I think I liked all the sketch, like this is what we want, the art direction cards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those are neat. I wasn't around for a lot of those.
Yeah, they were really, really cool. Yeah, you weren't around for the Modern Horizons 2 kind of stuff, right? You missed out on
so
Lannis.
A lot of these cards are,
You missed out. Lannis isn't fun. It's really obnoxious as a deck. We also have Tribute to the World Tree. It's a triple green, which is no problem in a mono green deck. Whenever a creature enters under your control, draw a card if its power is 3 or greater. Otherwise, put 2/1 counters on it. Again, solid. You're able to pump everything back up higher or get draw just for casting.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the things that green really wants, is that continuous draw. Because with green, you can make so much mana. But if you don't have the draw, or you can't constantly just keep getting something to continue to play, then you stall.
Yeah, exactly. The next one we've got here is one of my favorites from the Midnight Hunt set. Unnatural Growth, 1 and 4 green. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn.
That card's pretty silly because it's not each of your combats. It's not the first combat. So any extra combat deck, you just double. And every time it comes to, you want to try Lightning Bolt my Bird of Paradise? Not during combat.
Nope.
Not up in here. Not with Sylvan Anthem out. It's I really like Unnatural Growth. It's really cool. It's like stapled onto the Praetor as well, kind of thing. It's just such a cool card. And not the Praetor, the Dominus.
Yeah.
Such a cool giant gnoll.
Which one? Is that what that is?
Oh, it looks like a gnoll, but never mind. I forgot. Midnight Hunt. It's a werewolf.
Yeah, it's a werewolf, but I can see it.
Yeah, to me, it looks like a gnoll.
Yeah, that's an art that I don't want to get a print of, honestly, and just put up in my office.
They've really made some like just really, really cool looking artwork just over the last few years. I say it so often, but yeah, this is just kind of a random offshoot rare from the set, and it does just look wicked.
Yeah, like Faithless Looting.
Like the entire thing of Faithless Looting, you can actually tell what's going on. At least, not my favorite kind of art, but looking at the full version of it, it is substantially better than what they did. The way that
okay, I guess I've never seen the full.
Yeah,
it definitely seems like they did the artist dirty. Yeah,
so what happens is a lot of times they say paint this, they paint a big thing, and then generally speaking, Wizards puts the part they want up. So they'll crop it into whatever it is. So this was a big, long, full-length person, and they're like we're just gonna go with like the top half of the picture.
Yeah.
So when it's the full thing, you can see a little bit better. It does look better than it does on the card.
Gotcha.
But again, it's just still not my style of artwork. And again, nothing wrong with that. I wanted to take the last one too, because I just love this 1-drop card. Nice Wild Growth. It's a green enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional green. Nice and simple magic. I like it.
Yeah.
Reminds me of when I first started playing Magic. A
lot of times, like you don't see this played as much, but this is just, I would say, probably better than a Llanowar. Because like, sure, you don't get
in a lot of cases, yeah.
You don't get the body, but it's going to stick around a lot of the time, which is actually going to outperform the Llanowar throughout the game. And in an enchantment theme deck, it's just solid.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to start your instance here?
Yeah. Someone want to take this first one? Because I want to.
Sure.
Take
I
one
always
after.
run this one. We got Beast Within, 2 and a green. Destroy target permanent. Its controller puts a 3/3 green beast creature token onto the battlefield.
Yeah. Then we've got Early Harvest, 1 double green. Target player untaps all basic lands he or she controls.
I love that card. It's very
I've
fun.
seen this one. That's nice.
I play it in my Crewfix deck all the time. So I can I try to take people's mana. But yeah, it's a really cool one. It's also like an entertaining group hug card, in my opinion at least, because you really can like politics the table and be like, oh, I don't have the mana to deal with this, and I can give you the mana, but leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Always in it for the politics.
Brian, take the next one too, obviously.
Hey, it's me, Heroic Intervention, 1 and a green. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. I needed it.
It's a good card.
The other day.
Yeah.
In your heart, you needed it.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Croson Grip, which is just criminally underplayed still. It's down to $1. Should go in way more decks. 2 and a green. It has split second as long as it's on the stack. People can't cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. You can still do mana ability things, but you destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's awesome.
I have a nice, beautiful foil version of this.
Croson Grip's just such a good card. It's I really should pack it into every deck I play. I already don't pack any removal into many decks. I should at least put that one.
Yeah, there's always a pesky enchantment or artifact that gets put on the field. Like there's always gonna be the one.
Yeah,
at least
it's really fun to do. People a lot of times will hold their Aetherflux triggers. So they hold the life gain triggers, because they want to gain, if you cast like 10 instants, then you gain 10 life per instant, right? Instead of, so a lot of people in like higher power stuff will hold the triggers and kind of things like that. And then it's just really funny to Croson Grip it before the triggers go off.
Yeah.
So they don't have the life to pay to bolt you.
Yeah.
So then they have like 100 life gain, but you're just like, all right, cool. You've got 100 life gain and you don't have an Aetherflux anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you wanted to counterspell it?
Life now.
Yeah, you wanted to counterspell? Sorry. Oh, no, man. No.
That's a shame.
I love Croson Grip. It's such a good card.
Mm-hmm. Then the next one we've got is Nature's Claim, single green. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Its controller gains 4 life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
another very good card. Life to get rid of a pesky or a troublesome card.
Exactly.
4 life in EDH is nothing.
No.
That's 1 food plus.
We have Temio's safe. Sorry.
Really quickly, I was going to say, I'm just going to start doing all life gain threat assessment and stuff. I gain 25 life. I'm just sitting there counting how many foods is this.
5 is 15.
We're at nearly
8 and 1.
I was going to say we're at nearly 9 foods. That's a lot of food. This boy's hungry.
That's a lot of food.
Yeah.
So the next card that we do have here is Tamio's Safekeeping, 1 green. Instant. At target permanent you control gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. You gain 2 life. Where was I? This is a common?
Yeah. This is such a good card.
I personally don't know why the game store's out of them, Brian. I have no idea.
Right.
You're the problem.
Yeah, this was before I started getting banned from buying cards out. I saw this card printed at Common. I was like, I'm going to take everyone you crack. And they're just like, oh yeah, we pulled you 10. I was like, I don't think you heard me right. I said everyone. I didn't say give me a lot. I said give me all. Tamio's Safekeeping is just so good. It's got a place in like everything.
Absolutely. There's no reason not to run it.
Oh, it's just so good. And it's the permanent too, right? It's not even just target creature, not target artifact. You can save everything.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I need some, Dan.
True. And then the last one is Wrap and Vigor, which is just a great card, which you also don't really see played very often. 1 in a green. Instant, regenerate each creature you control. You know how rough it is to have somebody think they've finally got it up on you. They're, all right, Slothy's board's out of control, but don't worry, I'm packing this board wipe. We're okay. And then he just lives through it. And then now he's also angry at me for trying to kill his creatures. And all mine are dead.
You've got no defenders.
Now the bear is angry.
Exactly.
Because there's not too many board wipes that are you can't regenerate each. There's a few, but they're like not the more commonly played ones.
Yeah,
it's also a nice blocker, like blocking ability too, to just be like, okay, I'll block everything.
Yeah, exactly. We want to jump down to the sorceries here then.
Seeing the bottom of your creature list. It's gonna be a doozy when we get through that.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about that little guy.
The first sorcery we got is Cultivate. 2 and a green. Search your library for 2 basic lands. Reveal them. Put one on the battlefield tapped, the other in your hand, and then shuffle.
I truly believe Cultivate goes in every green deck. It's how I build.
100%.
There's just no reason not to.
Farseek, Revisits, like everything.
Yeah.
Oh no, Farseek can't go
because it doesn't go in green decks.
Yeah.
So.
Nope, not Forest.
Farseek goes in green decks just to flex. Just to flex, you have the power to. I'll Farseek for what? Wouldn't you like to know?
Fail to find.
Yeah, I Farseek for a shuffle. Yeah, you Farseek for ramp. I Farseek to see my deck. We're not the same.
I like your play better. We do have Green Sun's Twilight X and a green. Reveal the top X+1 cards from your library. Choose a creature card and or a land card from among them. Put those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If X is 5 or more, instead put the chosen cards onto the battlefield or into your hand. Put the chosen cards onto the battlefield or into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Awesome.
Yeah.
I think Dan bought all those too.
That would make sense.
I actually didn't buy any of these ones. I didn't like this one as much as the Zenith version. Which is right there.
Yeah.
I'll take the Green Sun Zenith where we've got our creature search. X and a green. You search your library for a green creature with mana value X or less, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle this into its owner's library. That's so good. The shuffle effect to bring them back over and over. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why one's $10 and one's 50 cents.
Yeah, the Twilight's still not bad. And it I really, every time I do see the artwork, it is fun to just see how massive Vorinclex actually is compared to the general battlefield.
Yeah.
Like,
fine.
Scaling wise, you don't really see Vorinclex often beside things, but those are things down there. Those aren't just like little trees.
Yeah, exactly. Next one we've got is Harmonize. 2 double green, draw 3 cards.
Again, draw. You need it.
Yeah.
Then we do have our Kodama's Reach. 2 and a green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put one onto the battlefield tapped, and the other into your hand. Then shuffle.
Yeah.
You also have this Overwhelming Stampede, and I really like to win with this card.
Yeah.
We've got our 3 double green, and again, you're gonna have big creatures in here because that's what Radagast is doing. Telling a turn creatures you control get trample and XX, or X is the greatest power among creatures you control. That's often a game end if it goes through.
Mm-hmm.
I never actually really took a look at the art to see like all of the elves running behind the Rhino.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was just dust or something, I'll be honest.
Interesting.
They blend in so well.
And the last sorcery we've got is 3 visits, 1 in a green. Search your library for a forest card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle.
It's got to come back down in price. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like reprinted for like the first time in like the longest? This was years ago.
In Commander Legends.
It's just such a good ramp card.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no reason to not run it. You can search for any forest, fetch out your duels, even just as 2 mana. It's good.
The Portal 3 Kingdoms version of this card is dropped like $250 and is still a $55 card.
Right? It's kind of gross.
Wow. Yeah.
I would have hated to buy it at $300.
It was just such an underprinted set.
Yeah.
It was a fun set though.
Yeah. All right. Should we jump into the meat and potatoes?
I was going to say, do you have any creature or any land stuff that actually matters? Like,
we've got Castle Garenbrig to add 6 green, Reliquary Tower to no max hand side, Rogue's Passage, obviously, and War Room.
I always forget that Garenbrig lets you turn 4 into 6 for creatures.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That was really good.
Yeah.
I guess technically 5 because you got to tap the Garenbrig too, but still ramps you forward.
Yeah.
Oftentimes not really a reason. Like it just enters tapped unless you control a forest, which you're going to. Like there's not really downsides to that card. I should run it more.
No. Yeah, exactly. Unless it's the only land you draw on or have on turn 1, then there's absolutely no downside to it.
Yeah, right.
Artwork just reminds me of the Lion King.
True.
That's fair.
Let's see what we've got in this creature list. Start us off here.
Sure. Starting us off, we've got Ancient Bronze Dragon, 5 double green for a 7/7 Elder Dragon with flying. Whenever Ancient Bronze Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. If you do, put X +1/+1 counters on each of up to 2 creatures, where X is the result.
Yeah, it's really good.
I just picked one of these guys up.
And it's not even other creatures, so this could just... You could just make this a 27/27 on the first hit.
If you get a nat 20, yeah.
Blech. I can't roll it all, so everyone would be safe for me, but...
You're taking 8 damage because I keep rolling ones.
Yes. Right. Oh, I
do love the artwork for these ones, like how it looks like they're a page out of an old book.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. I was going to say, I really like the next card a lot. The Arasta of the Endless Web. Can't talk. But it's such cool looking artwork. You got 2 double green for a 3/5 legendary enchantment creature spider. I love every part of that flavor text in like the, or not flavor text, every part of the like creature text. You got a 3/5 with reach, and whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery, you create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. It pumps out so much. Like the more interaction your group's playing, the more little spiders you're getting. Having reach built in and a reach token generator built in is so cool. And it's just this was kind of when they first started doing this legend framing, and then the enchantment border of it too. It's just I think every part of this card is beautiful. And at a 60-cent card, it puts in work every time I ever see it pop up.
This one was originally from Theros Beyond Death, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, because I think that's when we got a lot of these really neat enchantment creatures again,
like the demigods and stuff.
Yeah, I think I like any of these creatures, or like that whenever a player casts or whenever an opponent casts, this happens. Like the red shapeshifter that gets the +1/+1 counters, and things along those lines. I think just there's also the other spider, the gruel colored one.
Dragonlair.
Yeah,
Dragonlair's cool.
Mm-hmm. I just love tokens.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same. I like something that generates tokens for me. That's kind of where my brain's at a lot of the time. I'm a simple man. I like to see a lot of things. Do I ever bring tokens with me? No, that's for someone else. But
exactly.
I put some dice. We try and guess what the dice are. We try and guess if my turned sideways dice are tapped or not. We get there.
Yeah. And a green deck's not going to be a green deck without an Avenger of Zendikar. 5 and 2 green. When Avenger of Zendikar enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each land you control. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant you control.
Yeah.
It can get out of control so quick.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're doubling it and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Then we've got Birds of Paradise. 1 green for a 0/1 bird. It's got flying and tap to add 1 mana of any color.
Did they actually reprint the old artwork?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's the 30 set, right? Or no, Dominator Remastered, yeah.
Yeah.
I always feel like Birds is wasted in a mono green deck. It's such a good pip that there's no reason to not run it. But I just always feel bad playing it and not being able to really use it for its full potential.
Yeah, it definitely scales.
I tapped this in my green deck for a red mana.
But again, still a great opener. If you pull something like a Birds, Llanowar, Elvish Mystic opener, you're really, really off to the races, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So
turn 1, Birds. Turn 2, Llanowar Mystic.
You also have this Cankerbloom, which I'm putting in more and more decks right now. I just love every part of it. 1 and a green for a 3/2 Phyrexian Fungus. It's such a nice uncommon. Pay 1, you sack it, you choose 1. Destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, or proliferate. A 3/2 body at 2 mana is already just pretty solid stats. And then you've got 3 like built-in options of proliferate, destroy target artifact, or enchantment. There's a ton. You've got token generation in this deck, kind of just as an counter generation in the deck as an offshoot, and even just being able to pump those Avenger tokens that didn't quite get good. You know, maybe they're only 1/2s at the moment. That's pretty good.
Exactly. There's not a bad mode in this one.
Yep.
Like for this deck.
I've been on this Cankerbloom hype train for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I saw it, I was like, this card's going to be fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah.
I agree.
The next card here, we do have Circle of Dreams Druid, 3 green Elf Druid, tap to add 1 green mana for each creature you control, and it's a 2/1. Again, I wasn't around for this set, one of the D&D ones.
Yeah.
This is an absolutely awesome card in a creature deck.
It's criminal that this is a $7 card, but it's not in stock anywhere ever. You go into your game store and try to find this, you're never going to. Like, it doesn't exist like that.
Yeah, bought them all.
Well, no, I didn't even get a chance to buy them all. Everyone else bought them all. They're just such a the guy's cradle on an elf.
It was definitely one that you kind of had to pull to get.
It puts in a lot of work, even just in like a base elf deck that's not trying to go the guy's cradle route. It goes good, but anything that's generating tokens is almost a must have with it. It's so good.
Yep,
absolutely. Then we've got. Don't you shake your head at me?
I'll shake my head because I love it.
Next up, we've got Crater Hoof Behemoth. Kind of a must-have in a deck like this.
The hoof?
5 triple green for a 5/5 beast with haste. Looking at the art, he should be a bit bigger than a 5/5, but he more than makes up for that. When he enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain trample and +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control.
I want another artwork that shows me more like what he looks like.
Yeah.
He also reminds me of like the monsters from the Fog.
Fair.
This was a fun. It was a fun card to learn. It was a beast when I was doing the Thanos the Tinkerer deck, and being able to get that copy off was cool. But its flavor text is always so good. It's Footsteps of Today or the Lakes of Tomorrow. It really does show. It really showcases how powerful of a being this should be. That's so funny to change it to the other one. It loves to eat all the things crispy, crunchy, and cheddar flavored.
I really want to pick up this version of it and like the artist rendering of this version because I absolutely love it.
We will be at the Calgary face-to-face one that's coming up. And they generally, that's like a lot of times when you can't find like the Secret Lair stuff doesn't come in and most people just buy it up. So that's where I usually pick up like a Secret Lair thing. I'm trying to find.
I didn't even think of that.
I'm trying to find the Fibblethip the Lost one. I can't find that anywhere. And I love Fibblethip.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like a catalog of all their Secret Lairs at some of the vendors.
Okay. I didn't notice that in Edmonton.
Right? I think you were busy most of the day playing games.
Yeah.
It was a very good time playing games. We also have this Defiler of Vigor. I wanted to take that one because it's just so good.
Yeah.
3 double green for a 6/6 Phyrexian Worm. Again, 6/6 at 5, already good stats. Then it's got Trample stapled onto it, and that would be a great spot there already.
Mm-hmm.
But then they just added a lot of other text as an additional cost to cast green permanents. You can pay 2 life, and you can reduce it by a green for if you pay the life this way. It can only reduce green mana, and whenever you cast a green permanent, you put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control.
It's so good for 5 mana.
That's just a really, really brutal. Like, you've got 30 plus creatures in the deck. Let's even say that. Let's even say 15 of them are that. You have something that would just with 15 creatures doing what you're already trying to do. Pump. Mm-hmm. It's rough. Defiler of Vigor. It puts in inordinate amounts of work, and it's something that can't stay on the battlefield ever.
It's in definitely. My what's it called? Lion Halar.
Oh yeah.
Just want to be able to get the creature cast, like any way that I can try to get a +1/+1 proc to go off. I'm gonna throw in there, and being able to pay life to try to be able to finish the game off to cast stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
And then we have Eternal Scourge, 3 colorless, Eldrazi Horror. You may cast Eternal Scourge from exile. When Eternal Scourge becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, exile Eternal Scourge, and it is a 3/3.
Yeah.
Slothy, please go ahead and explain.
This card goes a little funky with Food Chain.
Oh.
And just allows you to make infinite colored mana by casting it from exile.
Exiling it with Food Chain.
Netting a green, exiling it with Food Chain.
Okay, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. It's personally, I would have put I haven't looked through the list, you might have, but I would have put like a Hydra in here too, so that I could like just infinite mana dump into that, and because you'd be able to go fetch any of your Hydra stuff with it. Yeah. Eternal Scourge with Food Chain is like a competitive combo kind of thing. If you've got like, let me scroll down. All right, no walking ballista. You're all right in my books. You're all right in my books up here, yeah.
I was trying not to make it terribly mean because I want to have opponents enjoy playing against this one.
I was going to say you could put the walking ballista in and just be like, I scry until I get walking ballista and put 3 million mana in it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have that in the sideboard when I'm playing more competitive games.
That's fair. It's like I said, I just like it that the way it sits here, it's kind of fair. You can make a lot of mana, you can do a lot of shenanigans, but you're kind of still limited. Your ETBs aren't gonna, they don't force draw you. They don't get everything in the deck to hand like a normal competitive combo would. So it's all right. We'll keep an eye on it. That's why you need a Croson Grip.
There's no degenerate here.
Yeah, right.
Next one we've got is Eternal Witness. 1 double green for 2/1 human shaman. Enters the battlefield, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand.
This artwork's so cool.
This is for when you try to
I Croson Grip it, you bring it back.
Yeah.
As I was saying, I make infinite mana.
Before I was so rudely interrupted.
We have your Findhorn Elves as well. A 1-drop 1/1 elf druid with a green mana. Love it.
Yeah.
And then we have Galta Primal Hunger. 10, 2 green. Elder Dinosaur. Galta Primal Hunger costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control. Trample. The Earth Walks strongest of all. 12/12.
Again, pretty silly that you can get a 12/12 down for 2 in a deck like this.
Yeah.
Even without having to artifact it in there.
12/12 for 2, and then look at the top 12 cards of your library.
Yeah, find something 12 or less. Okay.
The next one we've got is Giant Adaphage. 5 double green for a 7/7 insect with trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Giant Adaphage.
Is Radagast enter, not cast?
Yeah.
Radagast is enter.
Ooh.
There's the Adaphage is a really cool card. I always put it in decks and then I just don't end up using it, and it gets cut from my list a lot. But every time I see it, I'm like, this is so fun.
Mm-hmm.
A 7/7 Trampler is going to get into someone usually.
Yeah, 100%.
Then you got 2 7/7 Tramplers. And what do we do with 2 7/7 Tramplers? We make it 4.
Make them 4.
After that, I go to 16, try and convince the table I can't do math. It's all good.
Then I'm at 32. Yeah. Where are we going from here?
Yeah, I have 47. That doesn't even make sense, Daniel.
That's not even an even number.
The flavor text on those cards, funny too. To a creature like that, we must seem like, well, bugs.
Yeah.
Speaking of bugs, you got another very cool one. You have your Hornet Queen, your 4 triple green for a 2/2 flying death touch insect. When Hornet Queen enters, you create 4 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch. That's a lot. You're getting 6 power of flying death touchers across 5 bodies at 7 mana. That's rough.
Mm-hmm. I love Hornet Queen.
The tokens, like, it's a way to just, if someone's an aggressor and you drop this down, they usually just typically will stop because they don't want to lose their creatures.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, and especially if someone's beating on you with some angels or something, and you're like, all right, now I got 5 flying death touch. You want to keep swinging that Gisela at me? You want to swing that Aurelia one more time, bud? I don't think you did.
Strike. All right.
I swing Kelly at you. Well, that was a mistake. The worst thing
Especially
too is you do
flash.
I was gonna say you've got the flash, so like having a Hornet Queen flashed out to death touch down a bunch of creatures when I think I'm safe would be rough.
Mm-hmm.
It's a feel bad moment for sure, and a good laugh. Then we have the Elysian Caryatid. 1 and a green creature plant. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, add 2 mana of any color. It's a 1/1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Good ramp. Good clean ramp.
1/1 till I get the Avenger down.
Oh, it is a plant. That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
I should put that in Phylath.
Yeah.
I love Phylath.
I don't like that. Just basics.
Yeah, that's true. But still, it's in the command zone, right? So
yeah, that's very true.
You got to go. Phylath's meant to be budget. I'll take the Llanowar. We got Llanowar Elves, 1 for a 1/1 elf druid that taps for 1. All right, Slothy, now you can have a fun card.
Sweet. We've got Loyal Guardian, 4 and a green for a 4/4 Rhino with trample. It has Lieutenant. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
Again, problem. Very big problem.
Yeah.
Not a plant.
True.
Oh, man. Masquid Nexus, they're all plants?
True. You're not wrong.
We then have Nylea, Keen-Eyed, 3 and a green, legendary enchantment creature god. Indestructible as long as your devotion to green is less than 5. Nylea isn't a creature. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. 2 and a green, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you may put it into your graveyard. 5/6.
A nice mana sink.
Yep. Nice mana sink, nice reduction.
I always love those little reductions.
You got this next one here, Slothy, too?
No, you can take this one.
We got the Nyx Bloom Ancient. It looks so good. It's beautiful art and such a nice foil. It's 4 triple green for a 5/5 elemental with trample. Yeah. If you tap a permanent for mana, it produces 3 times as much instead. Hit that Circle of Dreams Druid. Rough.
Yeah.
Great trouble.
Yeah. Well, once again, if you've got 15 creatures out for 45 mana.
Yeah, I tapped for 45. In response, I cry.
In response, I'm jealous.
Yeah, response, I'm sad. Response, I'm stuck on 1 mana, please.
The next one we've got here is Oron Frostfang. 3 double green for a 2/6 snow creature snake. Attacking creatures you control have death touch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Silent as a snowdrift, inexorable as an avalanche.
I didn't even realize it's a snow creature. Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I gotta start paying attention to this shit, I guess. Oh, this, the stuff.
That's fair.
The stuff.
Mark.
That's my first mix up in like a few years. We're
Mark.
good.
Yeah, okay.
We then have Old Gnawbone, 5 and 2 green, legendary creature dragon. Flying, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. 7/7. I need this. Need this in my life.
That's such a problem card. It's so good.
Rules question for you. Mm-hmm. Would Elder Dragon and Dragon be considered 2 different creature types? Or is Elder and Dragon like supposed to be separate so you would see both of them?
It is if for things that share a creature type, it's if they share any creature type, right? So if you have an elf druid and a druid and you're trying to look for are they different, druid is different. Like druid is the same. So elf isn't enough to change it.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. Sadly.
Yeah.
I do like a good elder dragon.
I'm not even attempt to read this flavor text. The ancient dragon.
How would you?
Clogilimiator. That sounds
like
I'm just saying it sounds like a morning phone call no one wants.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm so sorry. It's Clogilimiator. How did this happen? It's often seen with a Maggle corpse dangling from her mouth.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like that one, Brian.
Yeah.
We have as well an Ornithopter of Paradise, 2 mana for a 0/2 artifact creature thopter, flying, tap to add 1 mana of any color. I really like the artifact bird.
Yeah. The next one we've got here is Renata, called to the hunt, 2 double green for a star 3 legendary enchantment creature demigod. Renata's power is equal to your devotion to green, and each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. I am thinking I should add an Ozolith to this.
I was gonna say it's really fun to see how much 1/1 counter support you just have on, like just passively.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that until now.
But there's a ton. Yeah, there's the board state can get pretty out of control pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun to hit people with big birds. What,
yeah.
Sereth the Viper's Fang?
Yep.
Oh, I'd love to. Sereth the Viper's Fang, obviously. 2 double green for a 3/4 human warlock. Other tapped creatures you control have death touch, which is very rough. Other untapped creatures you control have hexproof, and pay 1 and a tap, untap another target creature or land you control. Again, your Circle of Dreams druid, big problem.
Yeah.
A lot of problems here I'm seeing.
Again, turning all your attacking creatures into death touchers is rough, but even worse than that is getting like death touched by an Ornithopter of Paradise because you haven't paid attention to the board state. I tap my Ornithopter, I declare it as a blocker, I tap it to add a mana, and your creature's dead.
Yep.
funny.
And its inherent protection is also really, really good.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Other untapped creatures you control have hexproof. I haven't seen this card. I'm gonna have to go hunting for. I'm just gonna go buy some boxes of this stuff.
Another Innistrad one, yeah. There was a lot of really fun stuff. You'd love. Were you around for Toxrill?
No. Yes.
Scroll was good.
Toxrill is real problematic. Someone the other day said they're just like, oh yeah, like as a budget inclusion, add Toxrill. I think Toxrill is like $13 or $14 right now. First off, not budget.
Let's see.
But they're like Toxrill is like a pretty fun like card to play around and build around. I was like, for who?
Toxrill is a $15 card.
Yeah,
on face to face.
Not what I would call a budget. Yeah, Slugless Dale. I did call it that. You're right.
The reason I wanted you to take that card was because we have a Seedborn Muse, 3 and 2 green. Spirit, untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. 2/4.
Thought you'd like that include.
Oh yeah.
The next one here is a card I'm very excited is getting new artwork in Commander Masters. Selvala, Heart of the Wild, 1 double green for a 2/3 legendary elf scout. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card if its power is greater than each other creature's power. Good luck to my opponents on that one. You can pay green and tap it to add X mana in any combination of colors where X is the greatest power among creatures you control.
Challenge accepted, sir.
Perfect.
You have a Solemn as well on the list here. Solemn Simulacrum. 4 colors for a 2/2. I've found myself really moving away from using this card. I don't really include it in my builds anymore. And it's a very good card. It does a lot. It's great, but I haven't been playing it at all. And I don't really know why. I'm not out of them.
No,
right?
I don't play this one much either. I really just kind of included it for the golem creature type.
That is true. You're hitting a golem type. It's still, you're at 4 mana, you're getting a 2/2 body, you're getting a land, and you're getting a blocker that you want to throw away to die for like a draw trigger. There's nothing bad about it. It's just an inherently great card, but I've found myself really moving away from playing it. I don't know why. I haven't played it lately.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Slothy, I'll ask you, do you want number 1 or number 2?
I will take number 2.
Okay. We do have... Nah, I'm good. I'll let you have it. That was your first choice. We got Soul of the Harvest, 4 and 2 green, elemental, trample. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. 6/6. You need the draw. Like, I'm really liking all the things that have the draw stapled onto it because that's going to keep you in business here.
Yeah. Actually, do you want to take this next one too? I would like
sure. I won't complain. Or Dan, do you want the pairing? So we have Sirach and Goreclaw. This is my mono green deck that I quickly built together. 4 and 2 green. Legendary creature, human bear, trample. Other creatures you control have trample. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn. 6/5.
That card does a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Sure does.
I had to build it because I got one of the Goreclaws with like the halo foiling on it, so I had to.
That's fair. I totally feel that. If I got a cool card, I have to build around it. It's a compulsion. It's in my soul.
That's exactly how I felt when I pulled the Gandalf the White the other day.
You're like, well, I got to build this now, so I have a Gandalf deck, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I guess
that's me all the time. They redid the companions, and I was like, oh, cool. I guess I'm building a new Lurrus deck. All right. I was like, all right, this is pretty cool artwork. I'm gonna build another Gigantha deck. Okay, I guess.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Just gonna swap out the other art.
Nope. I didn't have any of the well, I had Lutri, but that's not really a
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I made a just Lurrus deck. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Lutri's a great commander to play around. You can't complain about his companion ability if he's the commander.
Yeah, exactly. Next up, we've got Teamer Sabertooth, 2 double green for a 4/3 cat. Pay 1 and a green. You may return another creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, Teamer Sabertooth gains indestructible until end of turn. There's a bit of a workaround with this one, with Early Harvest and Eternal Witness.
Mm-hmm.
Another just infinite mana.
That's really cool.
If you've got 9 basics, so I think it's perfectly fair and balanced.
Yeah, that's not a crazy one.
No.
A fun, entertaining combo for the whole family.
Yeah, exactly. And in a pinch, you can get stuff back to your hand if it's going to be destroyed or...
I always forget that this is a cat.
Yeah.
I never look at this as a cat because it's like, to me, it's like a bounce card. So I
see the person.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I see that as a pairing. So I always, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, it is a cat. Mow. Oh, I love this one. We've got Terastodon. It's the right elephant to include. 6 double green for a 9/9 elephant. Again, 8 mana, 9/9 body. Phenomenal. The way that I read Terastodon is when Terastodon enters the battlefield, pick an opponent and destroy 3 of their lands that tap for one of the colors they need. That's how I read Terastodon, and that's the only way I read Terastodon. But the way it actually reads is when Terastodon enters, you may destroy up to 3 target non-creature permanents. For each permanent put into a graveyard this way, its controller creates a 3/3 green elephant token. So, 2 fun things. Number 1, I like to blow lands up with it. I'm the first to admit that. Number 2, though, is people like Brian play Wheel of Sun and Moon, and they don't go to the graveyard. They get replaced, so you don't get your elephant token.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Each permanent put into a graveyard. Yeah, if it's replaced or it's graveyards or exiled kind of thing, like with a Leyline of the Void, then you just, for no reason whatsoever, Team or Sabertooth your Terastodon in and out. And
I feel like the correct way to play this is, because it's up to 3 target non-creature permanents, play it, choose 1, and destroy Brian's Soul Ring.
That's true. It's again,
very attacked right now.
It might not be nice to destroy people's lands of one color, but if someone's playing a 3-color deck, like someone's playing a Muldrotha, and you destroy their 3 islands or their 3 blue sources, it is very funny. Absolutely. It's undeniably hilarious.
I'm playing with a bunch of animals here.
It's again, I like to, you know what? Maybe fix your ramp package. If I could have Terastodon out your lands, then that's what it is. No, it's that's just generally how I play. I usually destroy problem lands that enable people to do the things they're doing. Yep. If I'm into an Izzet deck, like someone's playing a Niv Mizzet kind of thing, and this ETB resolves, I'm gonna hit their blue mana so that they've got less counterspell. I always hit lands with Terastodon. Oftentimes there's many better things to do it, but hitting lands of the problem player is it's a much sturdier stick to beat the table with.
True, yeah.
Yeah, losing 3 lands is rough. You can be nice and hit a Soul Ring or something you don't like. I get that. But
you could be nice and hit someone's Soul Ring.
Compared to losing your colored mana, a lot of people would take that Soul Ring. A lot of people would take that deal. But yeah, no, I just I generally, like I said, I'll try and knock out one of the colors that they need for a multicolor deck. The more, like, if they've got green and they only have a few green sources, it's green for sure.
True, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take away their ability to ramp those things out and really set them back.
Mm-hmm.
The other worst thing about this is you can just dump this in so early with your 2 mana drop thing up there. I haven't forgotten about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Monster Manual is such a good card.
Yeah, you Monster Manual this in turn. Like, what's that? You can, if you were to hit.
I can realistically get this turn 2 or 3.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you get your ramp. Soul Ring turn 1, you have your Monster Manual turn 2, and then turn 3, you Terastodon in and destroy all 3 of my lands, and I just get to be like, oh, fun. Very cool, guys. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm saying it is objectively really funny, and all of us play with someone that would sometimes deserve to have their lands blown up.
Daniel.
It's Dean. It's always Dean. It's sometimes me. All right, that's fair. I would never do that personally, though. I would. Toski's $10. Okay, yeah, so $11. Okay, so we also have Toski. I want to talk Toski too. 3 and a green for a 1/1 squirrel. Can't be countered. Indestructible. That's a problem. Attacks each combat if able. That's a problem. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So again, great. But you have so much token generation, like 1/1 counter generation in here, that Toski realistically could end the game as like a 10/10 indestructible nonstop aggro beater.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's also triggering squirrel, which is very funny. And as far as I believe, depicted in the artwork. Oh, it's definitely in that artwork.
Yeah.
You should get Radagast altered so that it's just Toski in the thing. That heavy metal squirrel.
Radagast and Toski.
Yeah. It's quite the pairing. Both are as Fural.
1 or 2, Brian?
I'll take 2, unless you want to.
No, that's all good.
Oh, okay.
Next one we've got is Vizier of the Menagerie. 3 and a green for a 3/4 Naga Cleric. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast the top card of your library if it's a creature card, and you may spend mana as or mana of any type to cast creature spells.
Now, the real question here is, are Nagas also Yuan-Ti?
What kind
From
of spell
D&D?
were you just casting? I don't know what that means.
I think so, yeah.
Hey, so
I would say
in
so.
D&D, with D&D coming out, there's a snake people in D&D called the Yuan-Ti. And I'm just like, are the Nagas now? Like, are we going to errata some stuff?
Yeah, we'll have to errata that to Yuan-Ti.
Sorry, big D&D fans here, Dan.
Dungeons
So-
Ahua?
Yeah, right? Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger. Obviously, it needed to make an appearance here because you're a monster.
Absolutely.
Green.
Phyrexian Praetor is a type that hasn't showed up. Slothy's only
Very
on
true.
theme.
Yeah. We got Trample. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of any type that land produces. Whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, that land doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step.
Rough.
Yeah, it's a feel bad.
Rough. It's one of the harsher Praetors to deal with.
I think it's perfectly balanced with early harvest. I can give and I can take away.
That's fun.
I give it, then I take it.
Yeah, you won't get an untap. You will beg for the untap.
Yeah, what's in
Kneel.
it for me if you want your
Kneel
lands
before
back?
my untap shenanigans.
Oh, you can't use those? I'll just Terrastodon and blow them up for you guys.
Yeah, I untap all your basics.
Clear up some
In
basics.
response, I blow them all up, though.
I tap them in for the mana.
True. I'm happy to see Eva was in the list. 2 double green for a 4/4 elf shaman with flash, and you can cast green creature spells as though they had flash. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And
Oh, that's really good.
rounding us out here, we've got Zopendrel, Hunger Dominus, 5 double green for a 4/6 legendary Phyrexian horror with reach. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. And you can pay Phyrexian green, sacrifice 2 other creatures, put an indestructible counter on Zopendrel.
That's such a problem. That indestructible counter's so rough.
Mm-hmm.
I love all of these.
The Dominuses were a great
Dominus.
cycle.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, how fast they went through the Phyrexian cycle kind of wasn't a feel good, because they introduced like all these like really cool creatures, and then you don't really see them anymore. They're like, oh, we won, haha, it's all good.
Like,
Yeah.
what did these guys do?
So
have no idea.
I hope something does something to like resurrect the Phyrexian threat a little bit. Like I don't know in what shape or form that could happen. That would like make sense, like story wise.
I'm certain that Wizards will probably go back to them eventually.
They
The
like to.
oil drip somewheres.
I was gonna say they like to dig pretty deep in between that and Bolus. I'm still betting Bolus is coming out.
100%.
I can't see any realm where Bolus just stays sealed forever, and they're like, no, it's all good.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, I like this list a lot. I think it's really interesting. Radagast
It was-
seems fun to build.
Yeah, this
Same,
one was
actually.
really fun to put together.
I like a lot of these green cards that you're using, and there's some green cards that I've not actually seen before. So I really enjoy going through the list, and I think I might have a Radagast, and now I have ideas.
Nice. Yeah, this is one I think I'm gonna put together and bring when we go to the Calgary event.
Yeah,
It's
September 29th to October 1st.
yeah.
there you go.
Come and check us out.
Go play games. It's I like this a lot. It seems like it'd be a fun stream one too, and it's so it's really easy to look at an elf deck and say, I know what's going to be in here, right? There's going to be a Priest of Titania. We're going to have our Llanowar elves, likely an Azuri if it's not in the command zone, kind of thing, right? But
Yeah.
But how do you threat assess a Radagast, right? Are they playing Eldrazi shenanigans? Like, what is this, a dragon? You're not going to know what's coming out all the time. It's all going to be like just like wild creature roulette kind of thing.
How dare you say that dirty word?
That's what I really like about this type of commander. Like I mentioned earlier with Volo, it's just so many different paths you could take.
Yeah, Volo's very interesting.
And you said that you made also the Simic Radagast?
I did, yes.
Kind of interested in seeing that one too, because I do like Simic colors. So
Yeah, I'll send you that one.
What does Simic Radagast even do before we close out here?
It's Beasts and Birds. Here, I'll open up the
Like
list.
Thanos.
Yeah, exactly. Thanos is in the deck.
Ah, there we go.
But this Radagast Wizards of Wilds 2 green-blue for a 3/5 Avatar Wizard with Ward 1. Beasts and birds you control have Ward 1. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, choose one. You can create a 3/3 green beast creature token or a 2/2 blue bird with flying.
That's not bad.
Crater Hoof with Ward 1.
Crater Hoof is in the deck too.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I target the Crater Hoof. Did you pay the extra one?
That's funny. No, I like this deck. I'll wrap it there. But yeah, it's a very, very cool deck. It seems really, really fun to play around with.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to getting out and getting some games in with this one.
It's given me some interesting ideas of what I could put into one.
I think I really enjoy it because, like, again, like you said, Daniel, how do you threat assess something? Because it's not typal or tribal, as some people might still be using, that you can't really be like, oh, this is, because you only get the trigger if you're getting a different creature than what you have.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Not enough slugs in the deck. Kobolds were underrepresented in this episode.
I think for like my Dryad, I think I would have put in Dryad of the Lycian Grove.
Dryad
the
Arbor?
one that makes the Sapperling. Yeah, the one that makes the Sapperling stuff.
Oh no, I would have put that. That's Tendershoe Dryad. I would have put
Tendershoe Dryad.
I would have put Dryad Arbor. That's just the land.
True.
Fair.
I guess though it's an ETB trigger based on mana value, so you trigger for 0.
Yeah,
but a trigger nonetheless.
Exactly.
All right, I'll wrap there, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. If you like the stuff we're doing, check out all the content we put up on intothe99.com. We've got lots of really cool articles and stuff that comes out all the time. You can find everything we do there. The live streams, all of our announcements are basically up there. If you like our stuff, it really helps us out too. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it. See if you see an episode, say, hey, check this out. I thought it was a good one. Or maybe you play this deck. We saw how they built it. Maybe you'd like it. Going further beyond that, if you'd like to support us farther than liking and sharing, come check out Patreon. We do lots of cool stuff there. We've got really cool patron chat, really cool patrons already. I love talking Magic, so it's a great spot to stop in and say hi to us. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're
and you can come and listen to us live like Thunder is right now.
Oh yeah, you can also listen live while we record, which is if you're entertained by live recordings and seeing what the actual full episode sounds like, then yes. That's
chaos at the beginning while Daniel plays with his new toys.
I did have fun. But yes, thank you guys so much for checking the episode out, and have a great week.
See ya.
Guys.